Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about friction. This is another force. So, friction is a force that acts in the opposite direction of the motion of the object. So, it's going to slow the object down. For example, if I try to push a box across a rocky surface, so if I'm trying to push a box across rocks, it's going to be much harder than if I try to push the box across ice because the friction of the rocks is going to slow the box down and it's going to have to make me push even harder. But if I'm pushing the box against ice, the friction is far less than what would happen if I pushed it across rocks. So I wouldn't have to push as hard. So, friction can also affect objects that aren't moving, so objects sitting on an incline and not sliding. So, if I place a box on an incline that has carpet, it might stay, but if I put a box on an incline that has ice, it's going to slide down. So, the friction makes it where it will not slide. So, different materials provide different amounts of friction. So, the friction in carpet compared to tile floor or wood floor or rocks or dirt is all different. So, if a box slides across ice and a wooden floor, which one will come to a stop first? So, which one's going to slow down the most? If I push the box across ice, the friction is less. If I push a box across a wood floor, the friction is a little bit more than ice, so this box is going to stop first or slow down quicker. And we are going to look at that through another simulation. So, I'm going to keep the friction here in the middle, and I'm going to do an applied force of about, let's do around 200. If I can get to 200, it's hard. So around 200, that box is moving pretty fast. But let's say I move the friction up and I still have an applied force. I'm still pushing with 200 newtons. Because that friction is so large, we have lots of friction, that box is not moving. I would have to push way up here to get that box to move. So the friction is acting in the opposite direction of the applied force, which will slow it down. Let's say I put the friction really low and I go to 200 newtons. That box is going to easily slide rather than if the friction was way up here. And we can watch that again. It's very difficult for him to push it because that applied force is balancing out the friction force, so it's not going to move. So that's what friction is. I also want to quickly cover air resistance. So air resistance is an interaction between a moving object and air molecules. It's a type of friction. The size, shape of an object, and speed impact it. So larger objects and faster moving objects have more air resistance. All right, so this is just an overview of the 4 main forces that we're going to discuss in this unit. We are going to be applying those forces and looking at examples. So make sure you have mass, weight, friction, and gravity down pat before we can move on. All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you'll have a good weekend. Bye.